Hello, welcome to my another impulsive video. I'm doing this video early in the morning because I'm bored and I don't need to wake up tomorrow. And also, oh wait, not tomorrow, later. And also, I shared some of my collection videos to some friends and they have a few questions. So instead of answering them all their questions, I just compiled some basic collection questions and I decided to make this video. I know these kinds of videos were kind of a thing back in 2015, 2016. Why am I doing this now? I have no idea, but you might have some questions about collecting, especially K-pop in general, and I might have some things that I could share. So let's start. What inspired you to start collecting? Okay, I started collecting when I was a kid. So K-pop is not my first collection. I've been collecting various things growing up. I remember the very first collection that I've ever had was paper dolls and like regular dolls when I was a kid. I'm the youngest in my family, so I don't really have siblings to play with. Sometimes I play outside, but when I'm not allowed, I just play with my toys. So I collected a few. My parents were not from a rich family, but my parents provided me a lot of, playthings. So yeah, those are the things that I collected. When I was a teenager, I remember collecting Sweet Valley books. Yeah, I know. that book series, you can guess how old I am. So Sweet Valley books, I was a bookworm when I was in high school, so yeah, Sweet Valley. But as I grow older, even in my 20s, I'm still a bookworm. But of course, the genre of the things that I read becomes, more mature too. Okay. I also collected classic movie DVDs because I'm also a movie buff, and I even went through a phase when I collected The Simpsons, the cartoon. I collected The Simpsons merch, DVDs, etc. So there are so many things that I have collected over the years, and K-pop is just one of them. Okay, so while I'm talking, probably I'll just show you some random things I just found on my Shriney. Okay, so I just received this book by Jonghyun. I have a few Jonghyun things here because, it's important to me that he's always remembered. I mean, Shiny is a great group and all the members are thriving in their careers as we speak. But Jonghyun, there are times when people are not very familiar with him, even new Showels. They don't know who he is. They have difficulty standing him, which is kind of sad because I started standing him after he's gone, but I had no problem knowing him. I mean, at least knowing who he is as an artist. Of course, I don't know him personally. I don't even know the Shiny members personally. So these are some of his albums. Of course, not all of them. This is his book, his novel. It's called Skeleton Flower. I know the Korean title, but I don't want to butcher the name, so I'm not gonna attempt to do that. So anyway, second question. What do you, or rather, how or when did you start collecting? Okay, since this is a sort of like K-pop really centered collecting channel, okay, I'm gonna accept now that this is becoming a channel. I collected K-pop in 2018. It's BTS. BTS is my first collection, my first bias group, everything. And with Shiny, I started in 2021. So it's almost my anniversary with Shiny. My first anniversary with them. So yay. Yeah, so there. BTS, I started collecting in February 2018. Stopped collecting technically, well, not technically, officially stopped collecting in, I think, January of 2022. Because when I said in my previous video that I stopped collecting in 2021, like fourth quarter of 2021, it's more about like rigorous regular collecting. Yeah, my purchases are becoming lesser and lesser until it abruptly stopped in January of 2022. Okay, so where do you get my merch? Okay, so I get my merch, my first merch were from eBay, because I mean, these are like imported goods to me. I'm not from Korea, obviously. So I didn't know where to buy them. I'm not familiar with K-pop stores, nor group order managers. So I went to eBay first, because that's where I used to buy my previous collections. Like, you know, the things that I mentioned earlier. Yeah, that's where I bought some of them there. And good thing, I know eBay is like known for its more expensive price, but with K-pop, I never really overspent, because I guess at that time I had more control with my spending, ironically, or actually thank goodness, because if I had the sky's the limit behavior when I was going through my eBay buying phase, yeah, I would have become broke a lot sooner. Okay, oh yeah, so now I buy my merch from Facebook and Twitter. Okay, but the thing is, with those platforms, you have to be careful whom you transact with, because not everyone is out there to make an honest living. Actually, a lot of them are out to, you know, take advantage of people, which is sad, but it happens. So you have to be careful. What I do is I do more research about the person whom I'm transacting with before I even talk with them. I search their names. If I see something that is negative about them, I wouldn't even bother. But yeah, search your name first before you attempt to even start a conversation. You know, it saves you time and all the stress. And aside from that, group order managers, there are a few of them. For BTS, they're like everywhere. I mean, BTS has like a huge fandom. Of course, the market is really big. With Shiny, it's funny because we basically know each other. The sellers know each other. It's a significantly smaller group, which is great, because less stress. You can only talk with certain people, and you know, you can, yeah, legit check is a lot easier, because it's a smaller market. And what else? Oh yeah, other collectors, because some other collectors, especially if they've been a fan of a certain group for many years, you know, there are times when they decide to quit collecting, or they decide to quit certain collections. Not all, but probably like a certain member, a certain type of merch. Yeah, there's always, you know, someone out there, and a lot of these people, they're not the ones who would overprice things, which is good. So that's where I get my merch. Okay, for new releases, yeah, group orders. legitimate group order managers. I have like a 1 to 3 go-to managers for Shiny. Yeah, with BTS I think I had 3 to 4. I had 3 to 4 geos all throughout. Yeah, I didn't transact with a lot of people, even with harder to find merch, like for example artist merch. Well, I didn't buy the artist created merch by BTS, but there are some people who risked contacting other group order managers when the items became out of stock. Yeah, that's, it's at your own risk, but I don't recommend it. Just stick with your base, your with your go-to seller. I mean, sadly, there are even times when your go-to sellers encounter problems, but thank goodness I haven't really gone through anything like that, knock on wood. But yeah, I mean, it happens. So the lesser sellers you transact with, the better. Okay. Where do you wait? How do you know if the photo card, okay, this is a photo card question. How do you know if a photo card is good, has a good or a decent price? Okay. Photo cards, first of all, do your own research, okay? And meaning do your own research, like going through different sellers and selling platforms. Do not ask random fans, because random fans, they will only tell you, oh, you should sell it for this price or that price, even though it's a rare photo card, because they wanted to get their hands on the photo card that you're trying to sell. And honestly, this is an unpopular opinion, but I think asking random fans is kind of dumb, because yeah, like what I've mentioned earlier, some other fans, especially if they know what you're selling, they will tend to give you a lower price because they want to buy it from you. Or these people, I mean, there are lots of people who pretend to know the price of merch even though they don't, especially new collectors. And it's just gonna confuse you, just go to different platforms and compare the prices. That's it. You can even go to Mercari and other platforms outside of your country and compare. And that's where you will get to the point when you know how much is a photo card, or how much a photo card should be. It's as simple as that. There are people who'd say albums that are still on print or in print shouldn't be overpriced. Well, yeah, I agree, it's true, but what are the odds that you're going to get your bias, especially with popular members? You can buy 100 100 albums, and you might only get like 2 photo cards of your bias. And what if there are so many versions, right? So cut yourself the stress. Just get the photo card of your bias for a slightly higher price and be done with it, That's what I do, at least with Jungkook. Because yeah, I mean, I have gone through hell and back collecting Jungkook. Well, not exactly hell, because I never really overspent with him, but finding and claiming his photo cards, yeah, it's a battle out there. I mean, I win. I've won a lot of times, but there are times when I lost. And oh yeah, when it comes to that, if you lose a battle, like a claiming battle, don't take it personally. Don't hate the person who claimed it before you. Just, this is what I've learned when it comes to collecting. There's always one out there that you will get if you really want it that much. it's always there. Merch are always available, you know. There's always another collector who would give up their collection. I mean, look at me. I was like a vicious collector, but now I'm like, you know, you want my jungle photo cards? Yeah, buy it from me. You know, that happens, right? And yeah, it's always out there. Merch is always out there. There's always one that is available within your price range. Like, for example, these Jonghyun albums, they're generally expensive. But there will come a time when you will get them for an affordable price. All you have to do is be patient. And don't stress out about it because it's not worth it. Okay, so yeah, good, decent price. I am honestly not very much against raising the price for a rare photo card, especially if it's a non-album photo card, because again, what are the odds that you're gonna buy it anywhere, right? Especially if it's an in-demand photo card. Just, you know, also figure out what you're willing to spend for, because there are cards that are too expensive, not so expensive. How much do you want it, and how much are you willing to spend for it? That's it. Here, with Jonghyun albums, I am only determined to spend $20 up to $25 for his albums. Nothing beyond that. So, there. And I got them, right? And I'm, you know, I haven't even actively searched for them. Okay, next. Any goals for my collection? Well, any goals? Well, be able to afford the new releases, of course. I have certain photo cards that I really wanted that I'm like, I wouldn't feel complete if I don't have them. So yeah, I have a few things in my wish list. Yeah, I have a few things, especially photo card wise, because albums, they're a lot easier to get. Photo books are a lot easier to get, but photo cards, especially if your bias is popular, yeah, there are some people who would just go into a battle with you. Okay, and yeah, so basically that's my goal, you know, be able to afford what I wanted. Okay, how do I feel? Another question. How do I feel about my collection? Honestly, I'm proud because when it comes to my shiny collection, it's pretty big considering that I've been collecting for 1 year, almost 1 year even. It's pretty big. I have basically almost all the albums that I wanted. Again, with Japanese albums, it's not important to get all versions as long as I have the limited edition versions, it's fine. And the photo cards I wanted, yeah, I have this like this comprehensive template that I'm following, and it's not easy, especially with Onu's new album Life Goes On. There's like 21 photo cards for just one album. Oh my goodness. But you know what, yeah, I'm gonna do my best to collect that, but I don't know. Let's see. So, yeah, again, I'm proud of what I have accomplished since been collecting for 1 year, but it looks like, yeah, you wouldn't be able to tell. Not that I'm bragging, but you wouldn't be able to tell that I've been a fan for just 1 year, because when it comes to Shiny, their merch is relatively less expensive, and there aren't a lot. They're like an older group compared to BTS. But, oh, wait, what happened? Okay, I think I have low battery. Yeah, compared to BTS, my collection is smaller for shiny, but you know, I have to connect this to a charger. But yeah. Okay, I got a bit distracted there. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna continue because I don't want to ruin this video. I've been talking for 20 minutes already. So, there. My shiny collection is 1/3 of my BTS collection. Believe it or not. So, that's very unhealthy. But you know what? I think I'm still quite disciplined compared to a lot of collectors for BTS, especially during the pandemic, man. There's so many quarantine armies out there who just who just start collecting like crazy. I mean, not I'm not saying that in a negative way, but they like really collected a lot of merch for a short period of time, and even I was amazed, you know. Okay, so next question. Um what do you expect when you join the trading community? Oh yeah, if you're a photocard collector, or even sometimes there are people who trade merch, um you have to communicate with other fans to trade photocards for your bias, because you know, if you have a bias, of course, it's still not guaranteed that you're gonna get your bias's photocard. And actually, a lot of times you won't get your bias's photocards. My goodness, you know, with BTS, it took me more than 2 years to pull Jungkook. But with Onyu, thank goodness for Shiny, there are 5 members, actually 4, since I only buy unsealed albums before, you know, the latest releases. So yeah. 4 members, and the members are pretty much well equally liked. It's easy. So my goodness. Yeah, it's great. So with shiny, trading is a lot easier. And my expectation back in the day, not much, because you just need to weigh whom you're gonna talk to. Like, even with fellow fans that you're gonna be friends with, you need to weigh what kind of person you'd like to interact with, because not all fans are nice, not all fans are decent people, not all fans are polite, you know, especially if you're in a big fandom. There are people who aren't the most pleasant. I've experienced a lot of unpleasant things with other fans, but you know, I just forget that they exist afterwards. So yeah, with trading so far, I've been quite fortunate. Again, probably because I tend to judge the character of a person I'm dealing with, and also I legit check. I always make sure that I'm talking with someone whom is not gonna scam me, or else I'm gonna wreak havoc. Okay, so there. So I didn't have a lot of expectations. You just need to be careful, that's all. Okay, worst experience for trade or sale. Trade, I can't remember. Yeah, I don't remember, because I don't really trade a lot, and a lot of times, well, actually, so far my trading experiences were pretty good. Some of them were actually very very nice, and I didn't deserve, so that's good. Um oh yeah, probably worst experience if I pulled a not so popular member and I have to trade for my bias, and it's hard. Like, I basically give up, you know. If like with BTS, if it's another Maknae line, there is a chance that you'll trade them. But if it's a Young liner, unless it's Jin or Suga, actually even Jin and Suga, it's hard to collect for Jungkook anymore. Just sell them. You know, sell your photo card and buy your biases photo card, because you're just gonna wait and wait until that merch becomes rare. And yeah, you lost your chance of buying it for a reasonable price. With BTS, you have to buy right away. Or this is Jonghin's story up. There's no photo of him in this album. I don't know what the rooster means, but I haven't really researched on this. But anyway, it's very interesting, and this is one of my favorite albums of Jonghin. Actually, I love all of his albums. Who am I kidding? Okay, so next, what's my favorite and least favorite about collecting? Favorite, of course, my favorite thing about collecting is finally finding my priority merch or photo card. Like, this is what people call in the K-pop game prios. So if you find them finally, like you've been eyeing this particular merch for so long and you find them for a reasonable price, that is great. And also, not only finding them for a reasonable price, you are the one who ended up getting them. Because it doesn't matter if you found it for a reasonable price. If you're not the one who was able to claim it, what's the point, right? So yeah, that's the best thing. And there's so many, like instances when I wasn't able to claim what I wanted, but thank goodness, probably because I actively search for what I wanted. I usually get what I really wanted because I seek them out, especially if I really, really wanted it. Like a few hours ago, there was a sale in Facebook, and I was able to get a few things that I needed, or that is, that is still not in my collection. So I'm glad. I mean, I'm not glad about spending money again, but I'm glad to find those things. And my least favorite about collecting, having to the opposite of it, having to search for my priorities and I'm not finding them yet. What else? Dealing with people, because my goodness. Yeah, people, a lot of K-pop stans are not the nicest people. So, yeah, dealing with them, sometimes you were able to claim something and then they'll end up selling it to someone else. Or, I have another pet peeve. There are these sellers who have like a lot of, they're not very straightforward. Like, they would sell you something and you would have to either give them a code and the price, which is fine. Now I'm okay with it because it's like making sure that you have read the rules. But there are some sellers who are just so, I don't know, they just want us to give they want to give their buyers a hard time. Like, you have to write a format for this, for the answer to this question. I have no time for that crap. Like, I have one of these sellers who, well, of course I'm not gonna name names. Like, there's this form, like an order form, and you have to answer the questions based on the format that they wanted. Like, go to hell, I mean, I just want to buy your effing merch, okay? I don't want to deal with your crap. But yeah, after I bought what I wanted, I just don't want to deal with that person because it's annoying as hell. Yeah, I don't have a lot of tolerance for those sellers. Like, I'm okay with codes. At first, it wasn't okay to me, but I guess it's fine. I got used to it. It's kind of, shitty. But those, like, you have to answer this format. I mean, I am not lazy, I will answer the order form properly. But don't give me that crap about you have to put a particular format or else it's not gonna be valid. Like, go to hell, okay? I don't know. Anyway, I'm getting annoyed. What else don't I like the least? When merch drops are very frequent. BTS, oh my goodness, back when I was collecting, especially during the pandemic, well, it's still the pandemic, but the height of the pandemic, they are probably trying to make up with the losses, so they give us a lot of silly merch, like all the most mundane things. They have a merch for it, like Dynamite becoming number one, there's a merch. Oh my goodness, like, at first I was okay with it because I wasn't noticing, like, hey, they're milking us for every money that we have. But later on, it was like, oh my gosh, even this little thing has a merch. Come on. Like, I think one of the things that turned me off too was Bang Bang Con. If you are an army, you would know what that is. It's like a series of concerts by BTS. And, we have a good time, we watch them, blah, blah, blah. It's fun, It's fun to look back to these past concerts. And then, the week after, they will drop merch for that series. Like, what the heck? I thought we were just having a good time. But no, it's like we were emotionally manipulated, and then they will sell us merch, and we fell for it. We fell for it. I fell for it. So, yeah. Look, you know what? I'm not blaming the boys about this, the members. I'm sure this is not really them who's doing this, but it's the company. And, that's just one of the things why, in hindsight, after I stopped collecting BTS, I was like, oh my goodness, I fell for a lot of these things. Yeah, gosh, I have a lot of rant about collecting. But you know what? You just have to. You just have to understand collecting, because it's one thing to be annoyed about overpriced photocards and merch, and it's also another thing that you just hate it just for the sake of hating it. Okay? Collections, this is very inexpensive habit, You just have to know what you're getting into when you're collecting, especially K-pop. My goodness, I do not recommend this. If this doesn't give you any enjoyment, don't even start, because this will really make you spend a lot, like a lot that you would be willing to if you're collecting anything that is not K-pop. Yeah. You just really have to be into this if you're gonna start. Especially photo cards. My goodness. Photo card, it's like half of your expenses for all of your merch will just be for photo cards. Especially if you're a completist. There are spark collectors. I am not a spark collector. I don't even believe in sparks, to be honest. If it's my bias's face on the photo card, I will have it. I will buy it. That's me. I have a problem. Yeah, but anyway, so like I was saying, it's one thing to hate overpriced merchant photo cards because it's unreasonable, but it is also another thing when you hate it because you just don't want to spend. Because again, collecting is not it, you just really need to be committed to this kind of habit. This is not for the weak hearted, or this is not for dummies, basically. Yeah, and no matter how much you want it or how much you complain about expensive photo cards, they exist because that's how it is. There's a law of supply and demand, and no matter how much you hate it and disagree with it, it 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 exists. A lot of times people will sell out of print rare merch for a higher price because they're out of print and rare, and you just have to deal with it. So it's either you know how much you are willing to spend, or just don't collect it, But do not hate the sellers because they're selling something that is rare for a higher price than the original price, because that's just deal with it. It's how it is. Okay, I've talked a lot about my rants. Okay, next question. What's your favorite or least favorite about collecting? Oh wait, I already read this. Do you have plans for your collection in case you lost interest? Sell them. Like in the beginning of this video, I collected a lot of things, and you know what? A lot of them ended up either in the trash, or I have no idea where they are now. So, like with K-pop, these things can be resold. So, if you're not interested in them anymore, or probably you just have different priorities, sell them before it's too late, because K-pop merch, their prices go up and down. So, you just have to decide first. I don't want you to decide to sell if you're still attached to your collection. But if you're not anymore, just sell them. Just don't think about it and sell them. You know what? At first, when I started selling my rarer photo cards, it kind of hurt. But then, after a while, it's just, I'm relieved. Yeah, I actually felt relieved that, I was able to get my money back and even spend it on things that I actually wanted. So, okay. Next question. How do you support your collection? Well, if you're asking me personally, I have a job. I am overworked and underpaid, but I have priorities, and I have decided to spend my money on these things that are in front of you, and also the things that I collected and still collecting and will collect. You just have to be really into this, into this. Okay. What else? Biggest purchase regret. Biggest purchase regret. Oops, sorry. My camera is going out of focus. Well, is it even focused in the first place? Biggest purchasing regret? Probably things that I found randomly, and then a week later I found it for a lower price, for a much lower price. Like, for example, I bought Shiny World 3 DVD for, I don't know, I think $40. I'm lying. It's not $40. It's more expensive than that. And then I found another copy for like 3/4 of the price that I paid for it, which, yeah, it's annoying when that happens. And I regret it when it happens. But you know what? At the time, I didn't know I will find it for a cheaper price. So, I don't really, it doesn't keep me up at night, It's fine. It's just that there's like an aw shucks thing when that happens. And also, yeah, fan-made merch, as much as possible, do not, don't spend money on them. They're not worth your money. Go for official merch. Okay. Next. What do I collect? Okay. What do I collect? I should have placed that question earlier. I collect albums. I collect all versions as long as they are significantly different. But if it's my biases albums, like Onyu's albums, yeah, I collect all kinds, even though the photo books are the same. I don't know why SM does that. With Japanese albums and DVDs, I get the limited version, the limited edition. Yeah, regular edition, unless it's really really cheap, I don't buy them. Photo cards, I buy my biases photo card, which is Onyu, and the group photo card because, well, I love the group and Onyu is also in the group photo card. You don't have to collect all members just to prove that you love all of them. It's not first of all, this is not a contest. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You just have to enjoy what you are collecting. And I enjoy collecting Onyu and group photo cards. So I don't even feel sorry. I don't even feel guilty about collecting my biases because, first of all, our idols, they already got their money, you know? They're already paid for those photo shoots and everything, and for the albums, like like a set of photo cards. They're already paid, you know? So you don't have to feel guilty about buying your bias. It's it's not gonna affect them really. Okay. I mean, merch, sure. Like, of course, you will see some merch that are sold out and some are not sold out yet. But you know what? It's your money, you know? You decide what you want to decide. What you want to collect, rather. Okay, what not to collect? Yeah, unofficial merch, low quality merch that you see out there. I'm not being classist or I'm not discriminating on unofficial and low quality merch. I mean, if that's something that you like or something that you can afford, go ahead, you know? I mean, it's just that in the long run, we buy the merch of our favorite groups because we want to hike up the sales of their albums. At the same time, the quality is much better compared to unofficial merch. And you can also resell them if you're not into collecting them anymore. Yeah. Okay, biggest collection. My biggest collection for SHINee is albums and photo cards. Because, of course, there aren't as much DVDs and albums. Like, they don't have the same number, so it's kind of unfair. But yeah, DVDs also, it's a priority for me. But yeah, albums and photo cards, those are my biggest collection. With BTS, the same. I have pretty much the same collecting habits compared to BTS. Compared to BTS and SHINee, it's pretty much the same, only different group. And what else? Technique in collecting. Technique. Well, I don't know. I guess what I've mentioned earlier, those are my techniques. And also, yeah, don't give all of your secrets to fellow collectors. I'm kidding. Okay, I'm not really that kidding, but I mean, if you have like a go-to seller who sells merch that are affordable and you have a friend who collects the same thing and you kind of compete, yeah, don't tell that friend yet unless you are okay with every collection that you have and you know you have completed your priorities. Fine, you can tell them, but do not give all the information that you know. And what else? How do I know if my collection is complete? Well, there's no such thing. As long as your favorite group is promoting, there will always be merch out there. So there you go. Oh my gosh, this this video is just me talking for more than 40 minutes. So I don't know where you are, what you're still doing here, or if you're actually still watching. I don't even know if there's someone watching this. Well, I'm gonna tell my friend to watch this, so yeah, they'll be my audience. But thank you for watching this video, and if you have any question about collecting, go ahead, you can put your comment. I'm not gonna welcome negativity, of course, in my comment section. I'm just gonna delete you and I'm gonna ignore you because I have no time for that. So I appreciate you watching me, listening to my, uh, to my tangents and whatnot. And have a good day to you. Bye.